You're still under oath, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, my lord.
As a court, please, my lord, if I can have the opportunity to address the court.
Yeah.
This matter stood down yesterday at the request of counsel for accused number 5 for this witness, Sergeant Tetwa, to bring copies of his qualifications and training certificates.
Yeah.
On the assumption that the court has not yet made a ruling on this point, we wish to raise an objection to this proposed course of action by counsel. We submit, my lord, that it is an unusual request for a witness to prove his experience and training, especially an ordinary police officer, as Mr. Ramos really put it, a bobby on the beat. My lord, the basis of the objection is the following. The witness testified as an ordinary police officer. He did not hold himself out to be an expert in crime scene management. Those witnesses will come and testify soon after this witness. We submit, my lord, that it is those forensic field workers who must prove their expertise, not an ordinary police officer who, whilst on crime prevention duties and patrolling duties, gets a call to attend a scene. And as we've pointed out, my lord, in his capacity as just a bobby on the beat, we submit, my lord, that the qualifications and training certificates are irrelevant. If the witness had held himself out as an expert regarding crime scene management and found to be wanting in certain respects, then one would understand, my lord, then that that witness will then be called upon to prove his expertise. This witness, my lord, has explained as to why at that stage they did not secure the crime scene. They made a value judgment at that particular point in time. We submit, my lord, that it has nothing to do with his qualifications and training certificates. The witness mentioned that they sometimes get fake call-outs for robberies, only to find, my lord, when they arrive on the scene, that those were prank calls. And he mentioned that there was nothing on the scene that could have indicated to them that there was something wrong that happened there. My lord, it's all easy now with the benefit of hindsight to criticize them, but at that particular time, they made this value judgment as we've indicated. We submit, my lord, that if would be witnesses who are ordinary police officers are required to bring copies of their certificates of their training that they underwent and qualifications, that might deter such witnesses from testifying. We therefore submit, my lord, that this request ought to be declined. The court pleases.
Yeah, I've listened to you, but Ms. Mshololo says this will in some way contribute to the defense of her client. You heard that. So this court can't deny a submission that a particular witness, if he produces, as you say, these certificates, it will contribute to the proper defense of her client, which her client is entitled to in terms of the Constitution.
But
So this court can be seen to be minimizing or debarring counsel for accused number 5 from pursuing that exigency, okay?
But we submit, my lord, that then they must bring a formal application indicating as to why they need copies of such qualifications and copies of training certificates, and indicate in which way there'll be prejudice in their defense if those documents are not produced.
Now we'll have to listen to that, okay?
Yes.
Thanks, Ms. Msolo. The witness is still under oath. Have you brought the documents?
Ingabe amaphepha la betholi uwaphethe? No.
Oh, it's your witness.
Mr. Mthetwa, yesterday when I was asking you if you knew what you were supposed to do at the crime scene as a result of the training that you have received, you said you can't tell this court about the training, whether in-house or any kind of a training you have received. You remember yesterday?
Izolo ke nkathi ngikubuza ke mayela nokuthi ukwazi yini okufanele ukwenze nkathi uya lapha kwisini wasuthi ke akwazi ke uyitshela lenkantolo mayela nama training owawathola noma ama course owawahamba ke phakathi emaphoyiseni.
Ngathi ngiyakwazi.
No, uthe awukho kwisimo sokuthi ungayitshela inkantolo ukuthi awapha ama course owahambile yipi training oyitholile.
Ngoba awekho wonke la ekhanda lami.
Yes, because I couldn't think about all of them from my head, the top of my head.
Yes. And then you requested that if you can bring them tomorrow or you can make a list, you'll correct me what you said yesterday. You said you can make a list or you can tell this court today about those training that you have received.
Uzongilungisa uma ukuthi ngenza iphutha okushilo izolo ukuthi uzokwenza uhla noma uzoza nawo namuhla.
Yebo kunjalo.
That is indeed correct.
Yes. Can you tell the court?
Ungayitshela ke?
Bengithi ngizokwenza into ekahle ngiwacele lapha emsebenzini ukuthi bangiprintele khona. Kwawukuthi ngishawa isikhathi ukuthi HR bavala ngo4 ngaphuma late lapha.
Sorry, I was under the impression, or I thought that I would do a proper thing by going to my workplace to request them at the HR to make a printout for me. Unfortunately, they closed at 4, so leaving here, the time was against me when I left the court.
So as a result of that, you cannot be able to tell this court whether we have received any training or not.
Ngenxa ke yalokho awukho kwisimo ke sokuthi ungayitshela lenkantolo ukuthi i-training wayithola noma cha.
Kodwa ngithe mase ngiwabheka kamanye endlini nje sengicabanga mina ama course engiwenzile ngingabala I domestic violence, vulnerable children, first responder to the sexual offense, then nama shooting practice.
Okay, maybe let's start one by one if we are now mentioning them. Number one, you're saying it's a training on domestic violence.
Yebo noma ngeke ke ngisabala iminyaka ukuthi kulonyaka oso ngangikanje. Yes.
Yes, although I can't be specific and attach a year and said by this year I did this course.
Okay.
Kwaba I domestic violence.
Yes, that's number one.
And vulnerable children.
Okay.
Then kube first responder to the sexual offense.
Okay. That's all.
Ngisawakhumbula ngathi lawo then ke kube ngama shooting ke practice ke.
Those are the ones that I'm able to remember. Then you have the shooting practices.
Okay. At the college, other than trained to drill, were you also trained? Did you receive any training regarding the crime scene, duties of the crime scene? At the training?
College ke ngaphandle kokudrill nje ama training wona ke ukuthi uma uya ku crime scene ukuthi kufanele wenze kanjani wona nawathola.
College phela siwenza konke college.
At the college we do everything.
Okay. So in other words, we have received a necessary training regarding the duties that you were supposed to conduct at the crime scene.
okusho ukuthi-ke ama-training ukuthi kufanele wenzeni umuzi kwi-crime scene loko wona kona wakuqeqeshelwa.
yebo college.
Yes, at the college.
And you were reckless in leaving the crime scene with Mr. Khumalo.
I think that is an issue that council can raise in argument.
Can I rephrase, my lord? Let's move on furthermore. After that, just one more question. Now, after you had left the crime scene with Mr. Themba Khumalo, do you know if there were any exhibits that were placed or removed inside the house?
Manje-ke emuva kokuthi senimshiyile-ke ubaba uThemba Khumalo laphayana, engabe niyazi yini ukuthi khona ama-exhibits asuswa noma abekwa phakathi endlini?
Ayilutho ngoba phela ngoba sasingekho.
No, because we were not there.
Thank you, my lord. I've got no further questions.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Baloyi, any read?
No re-examination. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Siyabonga-ke Nyembo, sir.
Siyabonga na.
Yes, Mr.
As before we call the next witness, Advocate Nisi indicated that we'd like to address the court.
Oh, is that so? Okay. Ms. Mnisi, yes.